Holy shit, am I excited about today's episode. We haven't had a blockbuster guest like this in a very, very long time.
Might be the most famous guest we've ever had.
Probably the most famous person. Some may call him Scoop Doggy Dog.
Okay.
Some may call him Cheryl Scoops.
Okay.
Some may call him Andrew Tate, the douchebag version. The LA douchebag Andrew Tate.
Okay.
We got Taylor Offer in the building.
What's up, all? Young Scoops on the mic, coming in live. How are we doing? This is actually the most famous guest you had since I was on this in 2020.
Hey, you've been a douchebag the whole time. At least your character's consistent.
We're just having fun over here.
So
the LA life.
Give the background. Obviously, we talked about this on the last pod.
So, yeah, if you didn't listen to the last episode, the scoop here is...
Well, that's good.
You like that? Taylor Offer, who's a good friend of ours, who was instrumental in helping us get the pod off the ground, was in New York City for an engagement party, posted a TikTok saying that he went to a local bagel shop, asked for a scooped out bagel, gluten-free. The bagel shop person told him to fuck off. You posted that. It goes insanely viral. Taylor's a clever marketing guy, so I was curious to see where he takes it from here. So... Fun story, we talked about in the pod, I get a DM from a bagel company, a gluten-free bagel company called Original Sunshine. And they were just like, hey, sounds like you like gluten-free bagels. Would you like some? And I was like, well, I actually have a celebrity coming on Wednesday. So they sent us, we are eating a scooped out gluten-free bagel right now live. And Taylor just did an incredible video of the science of actually scooping and then smearing the bagel.
The perfect scoop.
Perfect scoop. So it's on our Instagram. Go check it out. But when did you realize this video would hit? At what point?
I woke up the next morning and I had like 100 texts. And I was like, did I just win an NBA championship? Like, what is happening? Why are so many people texting me? Like, oh my God, you're viral, which has happened a lot before. Yeah. But then this time was different. And I actually woke up and I had a couple calls from Business Insider and like a couple different publications. And I get these, as I'm going to the text, it's like, we'd like to speak to you about the scoop bagel. And I'm like, Business Insider, New York Times, like Barstool. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? So I was actually with some friends in the morning. We went out that night in New York. We were all like, I never drink, never. And I was so hungover because it was my friend's engagement party. We all had a fun time in New York. And I'm talking, like everyone's still asleep and they just hear me talking to news articles. I'm talking to like Business Insider and I'm like, the perfect ratio of this cream cheese to scoop ratio. And they're like, yeah, any other quotes you want to say? And I'm like, yeah, New York just hates LA because LA, and I kept calling it LA.
Yeah, I like that.
I think if you weren't hungover, the interviews wouldn't have been as good.
Not at all. And I was just like, fuck it, I'll say whatever. I was like, New York hates LA because LA has better weather, women, and bagels. And they're like, okay. And that's all. If you look at any of the articles, those are the quotes. Yeah. Like direct quotes. And I was like, that's insane.
What's interesting is like, I'm a bagel guy. Even if I wasn't a scooped out bagel guy, which I am, I don't understand why people are so mad. What is wrong with people?
I really think it's a couple things. Like one, I have a very punchable face. And I'm aware of that.
Well, I don't think it's just your face. I think it's personality.
It's the energy.
The vibe is
the
punchable.
vibe.
Yeah.
And that
like
was
what you're wearing right now.
It's punchable.
This is swag. This is punchable. this is a tight
for
fit.
people who aren't going to see the video, he's clearly dyed his hair since we've last seen him.
Earrings.
Earrings. Blue tinted sunglasses.
Lightly tinted too. So you can see his full eyes.
Only the bottom button on my shirt.
On a button-down shirt. He looks like he just rolled out of a beach.
And are those chubbies? What are those?
These are just super short, like 4.5-inch inseam shorts that look like boxers.
So he's wearing boxers, a fully unbuttoned shirt,
sandals,
and blue tinted sunglasses,
and a Rolex.
And a fat Rolex.
Okay, so you're already capitalizing on your fame.
Yeah, the brand sent me this. So good job. Rolex is actually one of my first partnerships. I'd like to announce on this podcast.
I see this going one of two ways. You have a shot to be the next Bobby, just go insanely viral and keep the party going.
Who's Bobby?
Bobby's the one that does the Drake interview. But
she's done.
No, she's still getting famous guests. You might be over, but she's still getting famous guest after famous guest. And so I still think she's part of the zeitgeist. I will never hear from Taylor for another 3 years.
He's Little Terrio.
I could be Little Terrio.
So which one's going to be? What's the strategy now? He asked.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think I just want to keep doing it as long as it's fun. And I think I'm lucky where I don't need it to survive, which is a great place to be. So you just have content when it's fun. So as long as it's fun for me and energizing, I'm going to keep doing it. I think TikTok is just such a massively underrated channel. I know everyone's been talking about it forever. It's almost like, it sounds cliche to say, but like, if you could post on TikTok 5 or 10 times a day, your life could fucking change. It is such a massive channel. So I'm just going to have fun and keep posting on TikTok and see what happens.
So what does Scoops have in store now? Because like you obviously got a lot of attention.
Yeah.
And like, give me the weekend between now and Sunday.
Have you been stopped on the street yet?
Yes, that's the part I'm not used to. Because I grew a very large following on LinkedIn. So people knew my name and my little profile picture. So when people like nerds would come stop me and be like, I love your LinkedIn post. And I'm like, don't talk to me. Whereas this, like I was in a yoga class I go to every week in Venice. And I come in and like people are whispering and pointing at me. And after class, this is yoga. This is like namaste, super spiritual. Like get this shit out of here. Like after class, people keep coming up to me like, oh my God, I saw your video. That's so crazy, blah, blah, blah. Like asking to take pictures. And I'm like, yo, like get out of my face. This is a yoga class. Like
you already think you're too famous. That normally happens to celebrities
a year in.
Well, a couple of things. One, it's very noticeable, which is the power of TikTok, right? People see your face.
Yeah.
Two, it's been really interesting because the amount of people that have texted me and called me who I know do not like me in any way, shape, or form, who are congratulating me.
Let's hear a name of someone who hates you that texted you.
Ex-girlfriends reaching out. Hey, just want to reach out. Hope all is well. Looks like you're crushing it. Saw your videos. I was like, you said you'd never talk to me again. Like, what's up with this? Like,
so do you think the ex-girlfriends, like, I just need to throw that ball in there just in case you become a real celebrity?
He's the next like douchebag Anthony Bourdain.
Anthony Bourdain was a douchebag?
I'm saying you're a douchebag version of
him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say douchebag. I would say.
I know, but
what is the ex-girlfriend that said, I never want to talk to you again?
Yeah, like,
why did she say that?
Yeah, like,
I know. Why
she said that. That part I get.
Why is she reaching back out?
Yeah, what does she think is going to happen? That you're about to you're going to be at the Academy Awards presenting?
Yeah, she probably thinks I'm like the next Drake or Justin Bieber or someone.
I hope one of your ex-girlfriends listens to this pod.
For sure. Those people, friends who are like, I know like don't like me are like, yo, come ski in Aspen at my house.
People you know that don't like you.
I know a lot of people. Power of numbers, man. Some people won't like you.
I feel like I know a lot of people, but I can't pinpoint someone.
You're a nice guy. You're not controversial.
Yeah. Taylor, knows how to irk people. He's an irker.
It's weird. It's like a blessing and a curse is my superpower. Just getting under people's skin.
I had a friend who listens to the pod text me this morning how you're very hateable.
For sure. But the thing, I don't care.
I know that's part. You lean into it
fully. And to me, actually, when I look at like fame in general and how people can go about that, like there's this cycle for everyone where you get an immense amount of hate. Like Kim Kardashian started being famous from being a porn star. Logan Paul first really blew up with the Suicide Forest video. And I think like Portnoy got so much flack. If you can get the flack and take it on the chin and just not be affected, I think that's the route to fame, which is scary.
And that's what I think, like the fact that like, you just like LA. You just keep doing that.
It's LA.
You're not wrong, because all the people you pointed out were once hated.
So much.
And now Kim is the biggest star on the planet.
She's like the number one mother figure in the world. And it's like, how did you get famous? She's like the ideal boss woman mother.
Yeah. 100%.
She's an idol.
Fully. And it's amazing. But it's people forget so fast. And it's like, I think as long as you can get some sort of feeling out of someone, that feeling will change once they get to know you. Like, I'm sure there's people listening to this podcast where it's like, fuck that guy. And then they listen to this and they're probably like, still fuck that guy, but I guess he's a little bit of a human and I can get it. And I can get behind him.
And so, are you doing like a bagel meetup? What's going on here?
So I've gotten some interesting brand deals already, which of course I'm making money on this. Jewish guy, bagel, you got to monetize it. So I've had some brands reach out about some like pretty big sponsorship deals.
Yeah.
Which is tight. I'm like,
in the bagel space?
In all spaces, right?
Okay.
Like, because it could be applied to a lot of different things. I have this moment. So brands are reaching out. I was actually talking to someone who's doing a Super Bowl commercial and talked about potentially doing something there with the scoops. I think about that. It makes sense for this brand we're talking about in scoops. So things like that are interesting. This weekend, I'm doing a partnership with Wexler's Deli, which is, I'm going to just talk shit about how it's so much better than any New York deli. Yeah. And we'll be scooping bagels there. I'm going to KTL News. Like they're doing a whole news crew at my house. So we're going to walk through the perfect ratio of bagel scoopage. It's fucking stupid. Like, I feel like I'm in a Black Mirror episode. Yeah. Like, why does this matter?
So, I mean, I think how annoying your scoop before we started recording, how that looked on video. If you did that similar to Portnoy and pizza, this is what we talked about on Sunday. I think that's an easy angle. See if that content works.
Yeah, for sure. I think it just, what I'm really going to lean into is like just doing shit that gets under people's skin, whatever it is, right? Like,
if you think about Portnoy, most of his pizza is Northeast. He doesn't really travel that far. It's New Haven,
you know what I think
New York,
the key is?
Boston.
The key is, sorry, I'm eating a bagel. The key part of it is, like, the bagel thing was great because it didn't truly hurt anyone's feelings, and it was fun, and it was like similar to like Portnoy with the pizza. Like, the pizza part could potentially hurt like a business, which I think is kind of what you did. Was you didn't really offend a business. You just offended people who eat a bagel a certain way, which I think the key where you could run into trouble is, because you're a guy who will push the envelope, is that if you start hurting people's feelings or livelihoods or brands, then I think you cross the line.
It's a slippery slope for sure, because you don't know where that line is. And like, I know I'm going to cross that line, and I know I'm going to apologize and learn, right? Like, I mean, I've done this.
You're already getting your apology video.
100%. Well, it's like when the wrong thing can offend someone at any point. Right. Like, I mean, even this happened not too long ago with feet. We did an email. It's like an email from your neighbor. Stop walking around naked. We all could see you. Yeah. Put some clothes on. And like Wall Street Journal did this whole hit piece. And like everyone's like, people have stalkers. That's so fucked up. And I was like, I had no idea. I feel horrible about that. I crossed the line. I apologize. And it's like, if you do anything at scale, you're going to offend someone you don't know you're offending in some way, shape, or form.
Wall Street Journal was offended by that?
Google it. It's a full hit piece. Like on Taylor Offer, CEO, approved this email of talking about stalking people. I'm like, that's not what was happening. Yeah. But whatever. You're going to cross the lines. You're going to offend people in any way, shape, or form. And you just have to, that's part of it. It's part of doing anything at scale. People, and you said people weren't that worked up. The freaking DMs and comments on some of this stuff, how pissed people are. You said it was about something that is so innocuous, right? Like scooping a bagel. Oh my God, I'm gonna scoop your fucking grave and then scoop your parts out and kill you, you motherfucker, if I find out where you live, blah, blah, blah. All these DMs. And I'm like, I like, this is how I like to eat my bagel. I don't know what you want from me. Like, the hate is like, you could read any of the comments. It's fucking nuts.
Yeah, I was, yeah.
So I will say the unique thing with Portnoy, he definitely is controversial on pop culture takes and how he talks about the news, but his pizza reviews, even the ones you know he really not obsessed with, he doesn't give, no one gets below a 6 or a 7. And if you're good, you're like an 8 or a 9. He's not, unless they offend him.
He's not hurting the business.
He's not going to say it's a 2.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's pizza bites that he's had that he's like, this sucks.
Yeah. Well, I think for Taylor's sake is like, you got the momentum on the bagel thing, but I think it's more of just like, there's always been this like, where you can lean in is the stereotype of what like an LA person is.
Hold on. LA.
LA. Yeah. Especially Venice, because Venice is hot.
How do you not have an LA t-shirt by feet yet?
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
I mean,
just LA.
Yes, yeah, exactly. With the
I'm the biggest douche in the world. LA.
But if you just wore an LA shirt and that's your thing, and you're just like, you're talking about yoga, you're talking about Earth Bar smoothies.
All the things everyone wants to hate.
I mean, yeah, I think that's my community, right? That's my life. Is the LA like tech bro, LA tech bro who's like made money and thinks he's all super like spiritual and yoga and ayahuasca and gluten-free and all that, like mushrooms, like just thinks they're better than everyone, and like that's like,
your brand.
I would say that's not really even playing a character at this point. It's just living my life, man. My LA life.
Oh my God. Well, I'm happy for you. I think it's really fun to watch. It's fun because all the group chat listeners know who you are. So they're all kind of following along and excited about it. And it's funny how many people DM me like, that's how I eat my bagel. Like they're offended that people are offended that you got.
My supporters are in private, they're loud. In public, I'm alone on this island. I'm on the Scoop Bagel Island, and I'm like, yo, can somebody stand up? You were actually one of the few people that stood up and said, I also like my bagel this way. Yeah. I know so many people, like, every girl in LA that I know scoops their bagel.
I think it's irresponsible
at?
not to scoop your bagel. I'll go that far.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It makes so much more sense. You do not taste the difference.
No, you don't. It's
at all.
The only part of the bagel that I enjoy is the outer part with the everything bagel.
You could scoop out the bread at Subway and piss some people off.
Yeah.
That's true. That's actually a good idea.
I've done that too.
I would. I
always
do.
get that.
I always get a scoop.
Of course.
Maybe we're in the LA bubble. But who knows? Yeah, there's a lot of. I've been thinking about a lot of bits of things I could scoop. Like scooping the ice out of an iced coffee, scooping the ice cream out and just eating the cone. And then just have like my random friends or people catch me doing these things.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he also
scoops
scoops
the
this.
interesting thing about it is that like you've now obviously created momentum of content. One was a plane ticket you were offered to leave town. The other is the person renting your Airbnb found a scoop bagel. I'm gonna put it out there. It's unclear what's real, what's fake. And knowing you, it's probably all fake, but some of it could actually be happening too. But I feel like
I think that, so before Taylor answers, I don't think in today's internet anyone cares what's real or what's fake.
Yeah.
So some of the biggest sports media accounts are all just fake news.
Yeah, ball sack,
butt crack sports.
Yeah. And people enjoy it.
People love it.
It's just entertainment.
And Bobby's fake.
Yeah.
She got a lot of fame off that drink. The whole personality's fake.
Yeah.
Because
news is fake.
She came out of character on like Good Morning America or one of those shows. So I don't know if it matters, but go ahead.
Well, it just, I mean, to me, like, I think people see fake and real as binary. It's like, this is real, this is fake, which I know is like a very like, con answer to say. But like, I don't really believe in fake. I feel like I'm getting like interrogated at the whatever. I don't believe in fake and real. It's not binary.
You're SPF for fucking bagels.
Yeah, it's not about fake or real. I mean, everything is bullshit. Like news, like any article that's ever been written on me is bullshit. The way I got on Forbes 30 to 30 and everyone thinks that's legit. Bullshit. Like the way I've like done it, the way anyone does anything, every celebrity, it's made up. It's like their whole vibe. Their whole
artists have stream farms.
Everyone
playing their Spotify.
Yeah.
That's a hot thing.
The most quote unquote real people in the world are just the best at hiding how they're fake. Yeah. So it's just like, I don't know.
You fake it until you get to the point where you actually are famous. That's kind of what people do.
Or successful, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
SBF was a Bitcoin crash away from not ever being scathed. Like if it never...
Yeah, honestly, if the Fed didn't raise interest rates, growth stocks and growth assets would have been fine. He'd been fine.
Yeah. And he would have been just a lot
if Bitcoin stuck around 50K and not go down to 16, he's totally fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. If Billy McFarland pulled off Fire Festival, he'd be Steve Jobs. He'd be a legend. He'd be the greatest person ever.
Isn't he doing it again?
If he pulls it off, he'd be great, right? There's stories of everyone over, like, I look at Steve Jobs and like he would sell a computer before he had it, right? Which was what all these people would do. If you pull it off, you're a legend. If you're not, it's fake. What makes it fake or real?
Yeah, that's fair because like you'll hear like specifically in venture, you'll hear venture partners say, when they started Airbnb, they were selling cereal at the Democratic National Convention. Like, what does that have to do with renting an Airbnb? But it's a story they gave that hooked people in, that said that they were hustlers. If the business had failed, they'd be like, these guys were a fraud. They were selling cereal at the Democratic
And if you think about
100%,
any brand, major brand, the marketing team, their entire job is how do we go viral? So you just have to create a gimmick. You have to seed your product to people. What's the difference between arbing Facebook ads? Like, is that real? Yeah. When Facebook ads were actually cheap? Or was your brand actually popular? Or were you just being able to compete on customer acquisition costs?
Yeah, which we now found out was all fake.
Yes.
None of these brands are worth anything.
Right.
Any industry. I mean, musicians, like, are they the best musicians? Or are they best at understanding the TikTok algorithm and how to go viral? It's like how to fake shit.
Let's think like best case scenario from this. What do you think happens in your wildest dream? Give me like in 6 months. Where are Scoops?
Probably a regular on the group chat podcast.
No, but like
invited back on.
Do you think you have a TV show deal?
I don't know if I'd want to do like I wouldn't want to. I think best case scenario it transitions beyond scooping bagels. I don't want to be like, I think you can get known for the scooping bagel.
think about it, Joe Rogan was a host of Fear Factor.
100%. And then he did MMA and he did stuff. I think in the perfect world, I think this will transition into some sort of media company where I'm creating a lot of content, newsletter,
you could do marketing for brands, do
stuff, integrate brands in really fun ways, and just be known as this like almost like a Nathan For You type marketer.
Yeah.
who also has a following, who's also doing fun shit.
Okay, that's best case. Worst case, you say something racist, homophobic, you're canceled.
Yeah, that's always probably more likely. Worst case, I'm back in here asking you guys for a job. Back in here in a different way, being like, yo, I kind of got canceled. Turns out you can't say this.
All right, so when's the first meetup? Do we have a date and time yet? Or you still
I'm going to do it with Wexler's. I think it's going to be, I'm going to push for Sunday, but we'll see. I'll let you know. Yeah, I'll be there just scooping bagels for the people.
That's good.
I'm definitely coming. If you're scooping,
Which
I'm
Wexler's? There's a handful of them.
I think he wants to do downtown because that's, I think, their best location.
Yeah.
I would do the Santa Monica one, but that might be hard to get people there.
Shout out to Wexler's.
Shout out Wexler's, best bagel.
And shout out to Original Sunshine for giving us some gluten-free bagels.
Let me take a bite of that. Perfect scoop. Dropping scoop. Oh, shit. Hold on.
Even your phone ring is annoying.
I'm just
Keeps
annoying.
their phone on.
I'm on a podcast eating a bagel. Can I call you back? All right, bye.
By the way, real quickly,
He's got a phone.
Taylor came to Run Club a few weeks ago, and shows up in like, I don't know, 1980s Mercedes. with his BMW, and then, his hair, gender fluid is, I guess, the word. And then he has a flip phone, which I was like, obviously there's no functional use for a flip phone except getting a phone call. And then I was like, but you're on TikTok all day. How does this work? And he's like, what'd you say, 1 hour?
I post and ghost. I spend 1 hour where I make as many fucking TikToks. I make 20 or 30 TikToks in an hour, which means I'm recording for like a minute and I just post right away. So I'm like, post, video.
You literally post 20 videos in a row.
In an hour. And then the rest of the day, I don't touch my phone. I leave it I use my phone as my computer. I just leave it at my desk. And then I keep this flipper on me. If it's important, you call me. If not, don't fuck with me.
So you can't even text on that thing?
I could receive text and I have the T9 texting. So if someone sends me a message, I can get back or just be like, okay, like a dad text, like, okay, yes, no.
Remember you used to say how offensive that used to be when you first came on?
Because I used to say K all the time.
I remember that. That was funny. And now I like, sometimes the offender becomes offensive.
Before we get into news, you've always had a pull somewhat like the mid 20-year-old like crowd is into. I think we had even a segment back in 3-4 years ago.
I remember that. That was fun.
So what's going on? Give me something that I wouldn't know as someone who's 40 that lives on this side of town.
Oh, shit.
Other than I know shrooms is the hottest thing.
Shrooms are hot. Shrooms are really hot. Yeah. I mean, going out is out. Nobody goes out at all.
What do you guys
Is
do?
that because you guys don't have any money?
Probably. Well, it's just like, I think we all value like health, sleep. I think COVID changed so much, right? Like COVID made us realize like, oh my gosh, if you could sleep 8 or 9 hours a night and not drink alcohol and feel amazing and eat healthy, life's good. And I think people have taken that to the extreme. So like,
how come when I go to a Lo Siento party, everyone's raging their tits
those
off?
are a different, that is like, Ryan has done such a good job of curating.
So you think that's your
party
own
animals.
little health bubble?
That's
No.
LA.
LA. No.
You think it's? I don't know if that's LA because the boys are out at Waterfront just ripping it.
The boys rip it. The boys do rip it. I think it's maybe I've aged out. I'm 30 now. So my friends are like probably 27 or 28 to 35. I think there's just like, you have 2 or 3 years after college where you're ripping and then you're like, you're ripped. You go from ripping to ripped and you're like, I can't do this anymore. And yeah, nobody goes out, at least in my friend group, like 9 p.m. is late. Like if we're having a dinner or something, it's like 9 p.m. We're going home. We all wake up early. We all do tape over our mouth so we only nose breathe at night.
Yeah.
We do all those things.
So all the biohacking.
Friday night, you're in bed by 9:30.
8:30. Yeah.
LA.
Yeah.
So are you having sex?
Yeah.
8:30 is kind of early for that.
Yeah. Daytime sex is in. Nighttime sex is out. That's the whole thing. Only sex during the day. You need full light.
You want full light on
and windows open. Sober, full light, middle of the day. Usually post lunch is that's when everyone's into having sex now. The only time, honestly.
All right. Well.
Yeah. So you guys learn. Shrooms are in. Going out's out, and post lunch sex is in. That's what's up with the kids these days. Welcome to LA, the best place in the world.
All right, get the fuck out of here. All right, we are back.
I can't wait for the feedback.
Unbelievable content. Taylor's found his calling.
Yeah.
Like, I really hope he gets like a TV show called LA.
Yeah, it'd be good. I think, the people that listen to the podcast must like one of the three of us in some way.
Yeah.
But universally, Taylor is disliked.
Yeah.
So how is that content going to be received?
I mean, I think people are going to love it.
They're going to love it.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible because it's like, at least he keeps it real. He's the same person.
Yeah, he hasn't changed. Just his outfits have changed.
Yeah, his style has evolved. All right, let's get into some news. I think the first big piece of news is Jerome Powell, Federal Reserve Chair, came out today, held interest rates, saying they're assessing the economy.
Yep.
So I think generally that was received positive. Market ripped after. I really think they're confused now too, because they're obviously raising incessantly. Then we had 4.9% GDP last week for Q3. So they're probably like, what the hell just happened?
I think we talked about it a little on the last pod, that Wall Street Journal article that came out that showed how much wealth was created. And it's actually across all income groups. And, you know, the number of millionaires, families went from 9.8 million to 16 million. People's house appreciation on average is 55% in the last 4 years. This is like enormous wealth creation that interest rates haven't been able to tame the American consumer. Because everything that we see, sure, you'll hear pockets of softness, but overall, the economy's strong. The American consumer's still spending. You know, you're in airports every week. I'm sure they're still slammed. Every flight's full. Every hotel's full. Prices aren't coming down.
Nope.
So I think just there was that big of wealth creation in the last 4 years, and every asset class is up in the last, if you take a 4-year period. And interest rates have really just cratered one segment of the economy, which is, you know, commercial real estate and regional banks. And outside of that, it's a very isolated pocket that's been hit.
So,
because this is the fastest we've raised interest rates in our adulthood. And, you know, and it really just affected real estate. Like home ownership, homes aren't selling at the pace they used to, which makes sense. And unless that, I don't think the real economy gets hit unless single family homes take a hit. Because so much wealth was created in that one asset. And I think, 40% of the country owns a home, something like that. So, yeah, I think they're confused. And I don't think they knew what they were doing when they started, and they don't know what they're doing now.
Yeah.
And it just gives you very little confidence. Because even the transcript, he really didn't have clarity.
Yeah, there wasn't anything insightful said.
No.
Like, they're like literally saying, we're assessing the...
What are you doing every day?
It is an anomaly, because like, what's going on is so bizarre.
But I think it's just been described with that one article.
It's just that. But that only affects half the country.
No, but there's also statistics that even like African-American groups, their wealth creation has gone skyrocketed in the last 4 years. Hispanics, it's everyone's made more money than they had 4 years ago.
Low-wage workers got all significant pay raises. And I know if you were to post this on TikTok, like, the low-income person, but like if you went from $17 an hour to $20 an hour.
13 to 20.
Yeah, it's huge jumps. Do I think that's fair pay? That's not my judgment call, but like clearly everyone got a raise.
And the stats are there. Like young people have no problem staying at home with their parents.
Yeah. I think they said 25% of millennials have either assistance or getting rent paid by their parents.
Yeah, so think about it. If you're staying at home, you've no rent, half your meals are covered.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
You have a lot more income to spend on e-commerce sites.
Yeah, whatever.
Experiences, trips.
Yeah, you're doing all of it.
Yeah, the young person would rather stay at home and have 5 trips a year.
Yeah. So, all right. I mean, I guess we'll just have to wait and see, but it looks like the wealth creation and the wage increases clearly.
And assets have increased.
Yeah. So then from that perspective, we seem like we're in a good place.
So what are they confused about again?
So for that purpose, they should continue to raise interest rates. Why not?
Well, why do you need to continue to raise interest rates? Inflation's already down to like 3%. It's an arbitrary 2%.
The other thing that is interesting is gas prices are down 28 days in a row. My neighborhood gas went from, I think, a peak of $6.79 to yesterday I got gas at $5.39. It's a pretty big drop.
And if you leave the city,
it's still high.
I was in Newbury Park last Tuesday, which is a suburb 30, 40 miles outside of LA proper. Gas was in the low fives.
Yeah.
High fours.
Yeah.
And it's still,
still California is still obscenely high to the rest of the country. But yes, the rates are dropping. Like I saw I was in Long Island last week. I saw gas like low fours.
Wow.
So you are seeing at least some relief from that standpoint. Moving on. Sleepy Joe coming with some big AI legislation. The big legislation is around that government is going to get exposed to technology before certain things are allowed to be sold to the general public. Their concern is really around warfare, cyber warfare, anything that could potentially impact that. That is where they want full coverage of where do they get to see and how do they get to regulate that. I think the challenge I have with this, I like the idea conceptually that there's some oversight. Problem is you don't have the talent internally at the federal government level to assess if this technology is a risk or not. Like, it's not like who at the federal government is oversight is AI.
Yeah, I think there's a few problems here. One, how do you even implement it? So yeah, you could implement it on big tech if they start releasing AI, but some random startup starts releasing a product and open sources it. It's out the bag. It's like crypto's out, the cat's out of the bag. It's decentralized.
Yep.
And if you open source an AI product, that's out of the bag. So I guess the theory of like everyone's getting a little scared about where AI is heading is a valid one, but I don't know how you actually implement real regulation to stop bad actors. And I'm assuming you didn't listen to Elon on Rogan.
No.
So Elon Musk was on Joe Rogan this week.
Wow.
Great episode. Really? Highly recommend it.
Okay.
It's 2 hours, 41 minutes. He's terrified of AI. And he talks about, and not AI in the way we talked about last week. It was more just like if AI becomes smarter than the human, it's like that's a big problem. And he was actually, by the end of the episode, he was on his way to the airport to go to London. There's a huge AI summit that's happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
And even today, a group of Chinese scientists even are ringing the warning bells of like, we can't let AI get out of hand. I mean, if you have China saying it, you have world leaders everywhere saying it, and you have someone like Elon who's like on the inside who actually understands the technology.
He's seeing what's possible.
Yeah. I don't really pay any credence to a politician talking about AI, but if Elon's scared, we should all be a little concerned.
I think the ship sailed.
Yeah, I don't know how you stop it.
It's over.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you going to stop? People are working on it all day. They're trying to hack everything.
And another highlight from Elon Rogan, he quadrupled down on how he wants to fight Zuck. He said, anytime, any place, anywhere, any rules, any city.
Wow.
He said it like 10 times. And then Rogan pushed him. Like, he's like, all Elon kept saying is like, I'm 50% heavier than him. I'm taller than him. I'm just going to sit on him. That's his whole like strategy.
One end of the conversation, we're talking about how, like AI and deep tech. The other side is Elon's going to sit on Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, he said
the same person is saying that.
I know. There's almost.
And by the way, it just also happens to be the richest person in the world.
And he calls it the walrus. He's like, I'll just do the walrus on him. And his whole.
What did Joe Rogan say?
So I'll tell you. So his whole thing is like, look, it doesn't matter if you're the best MMA guy in the world. If a gorilla's after you, you're going to die.
That's what Rogan said?
No, that's what Elon says. Okay. And he's like, it's not like a walrus is skilled, but if a walrus sits on an MMA guy, they can't do anything.
They're dead.
And Joe Rogan started pushing back heavy because obviously he's an MMA expert. He started bringing up videos of like 144 skilled MMA guy taking down a 210 MMA guy. And Elon's whole rebuttal was just, there's weight classes for a reason. I weigh so much more than him. He doesn't stand a chance. Wow. Apparently this guy's been doing jiu-jitsu and taekwondo and everything. He said, I don't know. This is all new to me, the Elon.
Well, I think he had to.
He said he like did taekwondo and jiu-jitsu competitions as a teenager. He said he almost died in fights. He made it seem like he's just like
a warrior,
a bar brawler his whole life.
Okay.
The same episode where they talk about AI, you'll get a kick out of this. They start talking about pizza, and Joe Rogan says his favorite pizza is heavy anchovies and pineapple. And Elon's like, let's order it right now. And they make Jamie go order from some pizza shop. They bring the pizza onto the studio and they start eating the pizza and just like, this is so good. This is so good.
So they're eating this anchovy pineapple.
And then they started talking about the Cybertruck, and
that's what he was on.
Yeah,
it was an ad for Cybertruck.
Yeah. They left the pod to go to wherever the Cybertruck is in the garage, and Joe Rogan took a bow and arrow and shot the Cybertruck to see if it would pierce it.
Yeah.
Because he said his bow and arrow would pierce like his own truck, but it didn't make a dent in the Cybertruck. And the video is viral. It's everywhere on the internet.
Yeah, I think I saw a picture of it. I think that Cybertruck, given the climate, is going to be the biggest car ever. I literally think everyone's going to go buy it.
It looks sick.
Yeah. It's sick.
It looks really sick.
And he just gave a 2.5 hour commercial for it.
Yeah.
That 100 million people are going to go listen to.
It was funny because they were figuring out if they could get the pizza in time and they didn't know where to order it. And Rogan's just like, just tell them it's us. Yeah. They'll do it. And then Elon's like, actually, don't tell them it's us because I don't know what they're going to put in it. He's honestly, you can hate him, love him. He's the most unique, fascinating person. I've listened to a lot of Rogan, so you get a real deep dive. I mean, his thoughts are all over the place.
Yeah.
Anchovies and pineapple to...
Setting on Mark Zuckerberg.
The walrus.
To a Cybertruck.
To Cybertruck. To AI.
I love it. I love the guy. I'm the biggest Elon fan. I think the book also, I hear someone reference the book once a week.
And they talk about Twitter a lot too.
Yeah. Anything interesting there or just the
usual? I think there's a lot of fake news that they were talking about. How censorship was only for Republicans. Now this is the only free place. Like, there's no real data to substantiate, and he hasn't released it either.
Yeah. Okay. So I'd say. All right, let's move into some more news. Interesting business news. Tommy Bahama. Mm-hmm. If you're not familiar with Tommy Bahama, it is the quintessential Americana brand for boomers. Like, if you're 50 plus, nearing retirement or retired, it is a premium apparel brand that you see in suburbs, in Hawaii, in vacation towns.
Palm Springs
big. They have stores that have restaurants on top. And I've talked to folks about the Tommy Bahama restaurant in several locations, and the numbers are bananas. Yeah. Like, this restaurant just rips. It's just like, it's like a Margaritaville type brand. Like, it has a following. It's really done. They've now opened their first resort in Indian Wells in Palm Springs.
Wow. It's Indian Wells. I didn't see the location.
Yes. And so
we've been to the Tommy Bahama restaurant in Palm Springs.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a Tommy Bahama in Manhattan too. And I think it's a home run. Like, these types of brands, like Equinox building their first hotel, I think makes a lot of sense. The problem with Equinox is really the price point. Like, I would love to stay at the Equinox Hotel, but I'm not spending $1,500 a night.
Yeah.
For a hotel room.
Let's see what amenities this Tommy Bahamas has.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more of your, run-of-the-mill type places, but I just think the more interesting piece to it is just, how do you take a brand that clearly is resonating with people and build other, like, who would have thought Tommy Bahama, a clothing brand, would have restaurants and then eventually have resorts and hotels? I think if you own a powerful brand you have to look at every possible extension. You can't just be like, oh, we're a clothing brand and we're just going to do traditional retail. And maybe like there's so many brands that haven't even expanded into like eyewear and underwear and outerwear, and they have the following to do it. So I don't know. I love it. They got a spa. They took the Miramonte Resort in Indian Wells, $20 million renovation, and I think it's going to crush.
Yeah, it's the right place too, because given the demo in Palm Springs,
golf,
it's older folks.
Wear those big shirts.
Yeah, it'll do well.
I love it.
It's open. You should go check it out.
It is. I want to talk quick, interesting retail sales. I think the big news that I saw this last week that I was very shocked to see. We know consumer is soft. There's no doubt. Gucci sales. So Gucci, for those that don't know, it's called Kering. The group is Balenciaga, Saint Laurent, Gucci, and their sales have dropped. Saint Laurent saw organic sales drop 12% in Q3. Bottega Veneta, which is also part of the group, dropped 7%. Gucci dropped 7%. These are pretty meaningful numbers in a segment that we assumed was kind of untouchable, which is luxury. Well, the irony is Hermes is still booming. So even in luxury, there's like a bifurcation of like what is working and what is not working.
Yeah, the China consumer hasn't come back. And
yeah, but I mean, Hermes, you would say, if I were to drill a little bit deeper, China is one issue. The second issue, if you look at the brands like Gucci and Balenciaga, in this era, like who were the people that wore Gucci and Balenciaga most? Think crypto, weed. It was young money, new money. That new money is gone, right? Those people have been wiped out. They lost their money. And the wealthiest people from a style standpoint, I was just talking about this at lunch, is now it's the quiet luxury, which has like been the theme for this whole year, where it's like understated. It's where you're seeing success of Brunello Cucinelli and Laura Piana or The Row and all of these types of brands, which really wealthy people don't need to wear their wealth with the logo. They just wear to look great. I mean, Phoebe Philo, which was the designer at Celine, dropped a collection yesterday. The prices were so fucking astronomical. I was on the website and I was like, oh, I want to see how much this jacket is. $5,000. Everything is sold out. I don't think there's anything available.
So if I were to think about what you just said, it's true. The cream is rising even within luxury.
Yeah.
But I think that's because one segment of the population, China, which is one of the biggest consumers around, all you hear is bad economic news. This real estate giant is defaulting. This part of China is slow. I mean, even if you go down a little bit, Estee Lauder's saying China's slow.
Yeah.
Procter & Gamble says volumes are down because of China.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not everyone can spend, but the people that are rising to Phoebe Philo. I don't know who that is, but
yeah. Yeah, you go buy. I couldn't believe the prices of some of these things. Like this, like quiet luxury is real. Like people are buying Phoebe Philo.
I think also being understated is safer.
Yeah.
So the people who know,
yeah.
But the average person won't know you're wearing a $5,000 jacket.
Yeah, you're not going to get jacked for Phoebe Philo. Let me tell you.
Is Phoebe Philo separate from Celine?
It was the old creative director.
And
now it's her own brand.
And under Phoebe Philo.
Yeah.
Okay. Learn something new?
Yeah.
You know what won't be in our house? Phoebe Philo.
There won't be no Phoebe. The only Phoebe is on Friends. All right. Moving on to some other interesting news. News very close to it. BuzzFeed Inc. is considering selling complex media to e-commerce platform Network. So for those that don't know, BuzzFeed is a media conglomerate, predominantly digital media. They went and bought a bunch of properties. Complex is one of the preeminent media platforms for like streetwear culture, sneaker culture, and they have a ton of properties they own. They own Hot Ones, the video series. Network, for those that don't know, was started by Aaron Levant. Aaron Levant is the person that started ComplexCon. He also started the Agenda Trade Show. He's been involved in a ton of businesses like Truff Hot Sauce, Slow Tide Towels. Like, he is master consumer guy.
I see Truff in the Wendy's commercial.
Yeah.
Like a million times.
Yeah. And so Aaron is OG. Known him since he was like literally 17, 18 years old. Extremely successful guy. Started Network. Network is a live streaming platform, really in the streetwear collectible space. He's raised a bunch of money and he's making a big move here. He's looking to potentially purchase the Complex Media Network, and he's simultaneously looking at strategic investments from some sort of entertainment entity, maybe like a Universal, someone like that. He's backed by Main Street Advisors, Jimmy Iovine. He's got heavy hitter investors. So this is a big move. Something big is going to happen here, and he's going to consolidate all of these platforms.
Yeah, Main Street Advisors, based in Santa Monica. Yeah. They manage LeBron's money, Jimmy Iovine,
Arnold,
Dr. Dre, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Big celebrities.
Yeah.
They all did really well on Beats by Dre. They've gone, they've been very successful. So this one's a big one. Like, especially if you're in our culture in the streetwear world, it's pretty exciting to see what's happening here. But I'm very bullish on it. I'm very bullish on live streaming. I'm actually obsessed with live stream shopping now. I'm studying every platform. I'm meeting with some of the biggest live stream creators. It is mind-blowing what some of these people are doing in a volume standpoint. And the unique part about it is places like TikTok Shop are subsidizing heavy discounts for the consumer.
Yeah.
So the volume's bananas. Here's $30. Here's 30% off. And TikTok's just underwriting it just to get you to try the shopping habits of shopping via TikTok. Huge opportunity.
It's just taken a little longer, the live streaming shopping, because it's obviously been so famous in China and everyone's like, when's it going to crack here?
Yeah. The other thing that you entered in here, TikTok partners with tickets.com to sell tickets for its first live music event.
Crazy.
You know what I like about Chinese companies? There's no limitation to what they'll go after. Whereas like American companies, like, why hasn't Facebook done all this shit already?
Yeah.
Like, Instagram gave up on live streaming. Does anyone even go live?
No.
No one goes live. And TikTok just went and took it.
Yeah, and it's just like a legit music festival with legit artists.
Because they'll spend the money. That's the big key difference that Chinese companies have decided. We're going to pour the money into it. We're going to buy the culture.
So it's going to be a live...
Who's at the event?
Cardi B, Charlie Puth, and Anita, as well as rising talents, Isabel La Rosa. I'm sure these are all huge on TikTok.
Yeah, and
right?
Where is it?
It is. It doesn't even matter because it's going to be streamed globally.
Yeah.
It doesn't say. Let's see.
Gotta say. Unless it's just a live stream.
Mesa or is Arizona?
Mesa, Arizona. Okay, cool. Huge.
And they went to a place where it costs nothing.
Yeah. So costs are low.
Costs are low. You have to pay the artist.
Yeah.
But you're going to get billions of streams.
Yeah. I love it. I'm a big believer in just what ByteDance is doing. I'm a believer in what Shein is doing. I'm a believer in the Chinese.
They're good.
Yeah.
Builders.
They're great builders. I mean, think about it. Taylor's life might change because he talked about scooping out a bagel on TikTok.
Yeah.
Think how many people we know's lives have changed from that platform.
Yeah, and us being like a brand that was on Instagram early, Twitter early, unless you were a fashion blogger 10 years ago or 15 years ago, you can't make it now on any of those platforms.
No.
It's actually absolutely impossible.
TikTok, you don't need to have any history. You could just make it.
Yeah.
It's truly democratizing everything.
Oh, it's definitely democratizing who is going to be famous. Because you don't need there's no gatekeeper on TikTok. Like Taylor became famous. Let's see how long it lasts. But he probably has more views than 99% of celebrities.
Yeah.
Not to say he hasn't made money off it yet, but I mean, think about that. How many celebrities have 1 billion views?
Yeah. It's insane. He tweeted out, I think I'm the most famous Taylor now.
No, he was even more rude. He goes, hey, Taylor Swift, how does it be to be the second most famous Taylor? That's the hateable part.
Yeah. He knows that's...
That's a shtick.
Yeah, he's amazing. All right, let's move on to winners, losers, content. All right, who is your winner of the week?
Oh, it's obvious. It's Scoops.
Yeah.
It's Taylor.
That was mine too. I mean, undeniable superstar winner of the week is Taylor Offer.
Yeah.
I highly suggest you follow him on TikTok and on Instagram. It is the funniest thing. I mean, I was crying laughing. One, at the comments, and then the ridiculousness of these videos. It's unbelievable content. I love it.
Yeah, and you know, he gets a bad rap, but he's actually a nice guy.
I love him.
Yeah, he's harmless. It's a shtick.
Yeah.
You just pierce that veil. He's a good kid.
He is a great kid. I love him. Loser of the week.
My loser is American politicians, because TikTok is sitting here poisoning America's youth, and now it's gone too far. They're throwing fucking concerts. We're not going to be able to control it. The data is controlled in China. We have no idea what levers they're pulling, but I know you don't go on TikTok as much as I do. It's a very dark place right now, and it's creating division politically. And a lot of the stuff you're seeing at universities that are like, you know, off-putting to say the least, I think are all driven by TikTok.
Yeah.
I don't see what other mechanism happened. We were 18 to 24. Everyone just like, you know, partied in college.
Yeah.
No one was an activist. Maybe in Berkeley.
Yeah, only people in Berkeley cared. You just had fun.
Yeah.
You just enjoyed life. That was like the beauty of America. We were oblivious.
Yeah, I mean, not to be insensitive, but we were on university campuses after 9/11. I think it was like 2 weeks of like, everyone kind of was weird and like unsure. And then life got back to normal pretty quickly.
Yeah. Which is pretty crazy considering the gravity of that moment.
Yeah. And that happened on our soil.
Yeah.
Like we were at football games whenever they resumed.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. My loser is the Fed. I was reading an article right after the announcement today. One of the kind of preeminent talking economists, Jeffrey Gundlach, says interest rates are about to trend lower in the first quarter of next year. It's like we're heading into a recession. I don't give a shit what that GDP report looks like. So if that happens, that'll be a quick from, hiking, pause, cut. So if that happens.
A lot of the financial talking heads that are like popular on Twitter, they all think there's a rate cut coming next year.
Yeah.
I mean, Chamath said it.
Yeah.
Gundlach saying it.
Yeah.
I think they're also trying to influence because it helps all of us.
Yeah. Everyone wants the party to go back. It's not fun when no one's making money.
No, we don't want to hear Gucci sales are down.
No. We want to hear Gucci sales are up.
Phoebe Philo up.
Phoebe Philo's screwed in his low interest rate environment because we're going straight back to Gucci.
Yeah.
All right, content of the week.
Elon on Rogan's the obvious one. If you just break it up, I know 2 hours and 41 minutes is like too much to do at once.
Yeah.
30 minutes here, 30 minutes there. You'll get through it. And then there's another pod. We've talked about it a few times. The Techno Optimist that Mark Andreessen wrote. Mark and Ben did a whole podcast on it.
Oh, wow.
So it's on 2 platforms I've seen. So they have a YouTube channel now called The Mark and Ben Show, and Mark spelled M-A-R-C.
Okay.
And it's on the A16Z podcast network, and you could listen to it. And, people have different views than them on a lot of business topics and AI regulation specifically. Those 2 are so smart that you learn so much when they just start talking about all these various issues.
Yeah.
Even if you disagree with them.
Yeah. All right. I'll listen to those. I don't really have any content. I've just been working, so I haven't gotten a chance to consume anything. I'll just say this. Go have a scoop bagel this weekend.
Yeah.
Scoop it out.
Scoop it out.
See what happens. You feel light. And by the way, like, I haven't eaten a full bagel in a very long time. I just had this gluten-free bagel, and I do not have a stomach ache, which is unbelievable. Normally, when I go to the bagel shop and have a bagel, my stomach is killing me.
Yeah.
And I do not have one now, so I'm very stoked about that.
Bagel Fest, he could do that.
Yeah, like the Tender Fest of bagels. Yeah, people eat that. All scooped.
All scooped.
Drive everyone nuts. It'll probably have protests.
Definitely need security for that.
All right, we have a shout out to Stephania from Stephania. Want to give a shout out to myself for gracefully quitting my corporate job in May, taking this summer off to recharge and figure out what to do with my life, and recently starting my marketing consulting business. I now help health and wellness companies grow and scale their business by delivering a marketing strategy without complicated marketing funnels. Thanks, guys, for delivering the news updates with the perfect amount of chaos and comedic relief. I will give 10% off my services to any Kathy's needing marketing support. Use the code GCP. Okay, Kathy's, the website is www.aigarestrategy.com. That's aigarestrategy.com. Congrats. Good for you. I want to give a shout out to Helen, who has been with us at Ghost for the last year and is moving on in her career with a new path. She's a loyal Kathy. She's been incredible to work with at Ghost. And she's from Atlanta originally. So moving back to Atlanta and pursuing a new career, which is exciting.
Yeah.
And we'll miss you.
Didn't she learn about Ghost through the podcast?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Awesome.
Good luck on your wellness journey, Helen.
Yeah. It's exciting. Anything else?
One more shout out.
Oh, yeah.
Vinay to Vinay, our good friend.
Yes.
He is running the marathon in New York City this Sunday.
Yep.
Said he'll be listening to it, so we got to pump him up.
Okay. Come on, Vinay.
Yeah, get through mile 13.
No, mile 13 is not when you fall apart. It's mile 21, 22.
And then he's running his first marathon in 16 years, post 2 knee surgeries and 1 Achilles.
Wow.
It's insane.
That's insane. Well,
and he'll be with the NYC pitch and run team too.
Okay, amazing.
Isn't that
a lot of Kathy's, I think, are running the New York Marathon. So if you guys run into each other, please connect.
Now you got to finish, Vinay. Gave you the shout out.
Yeah, he'll finish. He's a fast runner. I've ran with him. He's fast. But yeah, marathons are no joke. So shout out to everyone running the marathon this weekend. That it? Great. Have a bagel.
Peace.